Should you learn Houdini or Blender when there's AI? This is a really stupid topic, but whatever. If you're still here, let's dive in. The CG industry is in a horrible spot right now at the time of this video. Far too many artists worldwide have no jobs. AI bros are all over social media gaslighting everyone and probably being paid to gaslight everyone. And yours truly is somehow still working as a full-time Houdini generalist. Though, I lost more than half of my team in the last year, sadly, and I'm always looking over my shoulder for the next layoff meeting. The same could probably be said for lots of other types of jobs right now too, though. Maybe we should probably rethink this whole corporate thing. I don't know, that's way beyond this video. That said, there's always this topic that comes up and starts a flame war. Fanboys always chime in with their everlasting know-it-all opinions, and beginners, intermediate, and even some senior artists are usually left confused, bewildered, or just aggravated and disheartened. Let's fix that, or something. We'll start with AI, because so many people are clearly experts on this topic. I can't predict whether or not AI will kill the need for all 3D software. If you logically extrapolate on certain paths, yeah, anything that creates a series of consistent final frames can negate the need for both Blender and Houdini and, well, Max, Maya, Cinema 4D, and XS. Wait a minute, no, that one ended well. And cameras, gaffers, and probably craft services or something. The truth is, nobody, especially anyone on Twitter or Reddit, have a crystal ball. We just don't. There are far too many variables to make accurate predictions. Then there are black swans, too. But, I mean, has anyone actually seen one of these? Anyway. If we go on the premise that AI will create anything based on prompts, yeah, stop learning 3D right now and go buy a few acres of land near fresh water and learn to farm. Probably buy a goat. Barring all the doom and gloom though, let's say, for the sake of this video, that AI and LLMs are a hype fest and the bubble will pop. VCs will have taken their winnings and the lemmings will lose their shirts again. That leaves us with a landscape where we have another AI winter. And the tech still exists, but now is focused into more careful and streamlined rollout, maybe in tools that are actually art directable, or things like what was used on the Spider-Verse or the Flame Girl and Elemental years ago. Let's also say that the law caught up, and the music industry set legal precedent that you can't just use anything you want for training data, and you have to train only on licensed and legal content. Those whom own the big content win, and maybe we get them pumping out AI slop and the ignorant masses just sucking it all up happily. I mean, I can remember people unironically singing along to cover bands playing Nickelback. I mean, there's that. Or we get the tech maturing and making its way into tools. I don't know, and neither do you. All that said, if it's going to make its way into tools like we currently see with denoising, the host of new features in DaVinci, or what's been in Flame and Nuke for years already, we can maybe assume that we'll see similar advances in 3D packages. Let's face it, polygons or directable points are still a great and relatively cheap way to art direct monsters, dragons, and things in shows like The Boys that I can't mention in good company. Therefore, programs like Blender and Houdini are prime tools to be able to absorb machine learning workflows in familiar environments and marry them to traditional CG, creating the best of both worlds. SideFX is already going down this road carefully, and the open source nature of Blender will allow for many different types of implementation as well. So there, that mostly covers the AI question in the very limited scope for this discussion. I won't go further as I've had enough of the stupid bro slop. Now, as for Blender or Houdini, it really depends on what you want to do. This is the best opinion ever. I mean, sort of, just kidding. Both software packages allow for many of the same things, they just go about it very differently at the moment. Outside of Blender's geometry nodes, one operates largely destructively but fast, and the other can be used destructively but tends to fit the procedural workflow better from modeling to effects. Blender is a great place for beginners to start out. It's amazing, has great tools, a decent interface, and really good modeling capability. It's open source, so it's free to start, and you can learn all the basics, even make an Academy Award-winning movie with it. It's no joke anymore, and it's a wonderful place to start. There are about 11 trillion tutorials online now to get you started, and no shortage of courses. While much of it are beginners teaching beginners, who cares? You can learn anything online with little commitment except time. As a professional who's been making my primary income as a 3D generalist for over 20 years with no gap by pure luck, as well as someone who taught 3D at the college level before YouTube was even a thing, Blender is a fine place to start. The truth is that not everyone wants to learn 3D in order to get a job in film, games, advertising, or whatever. Right now, those jobs are few and far between anyway, and while I believe they will come back, again, I don't have a crystal ball. As for Houdini, it is the king of the hill for 3D. Does that mean anything anymore? Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. I just like it. There was a time when knowing Houdini meant relative job security, and there was a need for people who can pull off large-scale effects work or fit into pipelines that did. There were so many studios pumping out shots for an amazing roster of heavy effects films and shows. Motion designers were picking it up as there was a huge ad push, and gaming was going strong. There's still a need, But there have been large studio closures and work stoppages, massive layoffs, as well as far less effects-heavy films and shows, advertising, or just far less in general now compared to a few years ago. Streaming bubble popping, COVID, strikes, AI, YouTube popularity over traditional media, tech changing the whole distribution and advertising model, interest rate hikes, manufactured anti-CG backlash, cheap labor, subsidy wars, chemtrails, red dye and Kool-Aid. It's lots of blame to go around. But Houdini is an amazing package and worth learning if you love 3D. It will get you very close to the actual inner workings of 3D graphics and allow you to do incredible things with the finest level of control you can imagine. You set up systems and can tweak anything almost infinitely. It lends itself to anything you'd need 3D graphics for lots of industries. I've used it at work daily for almost a decade, and it's a real workhorse. That said, it does have a learning curve that's higher, according to some, than packages like Maya, Blender, Max, or Cinema 4D. It can also be horrendously overkill for many tasks better suited for simpler workflows. Some find it's easier, some find it more difficult. It's a personal thing, as with everything. Unless you're terminally online, then it's definitely one thing or another, totally black or white. I teach it on Patreon and have a beginner video up there for free linked below, and I have a huge and growing library of node explanations and workflow examples. It's incredibly deep and takes a commitment to learn. You usually won't have the immediate wins that you do with Blender, and most of the work is in building systems and delivering what you want versus brute force building and rendering. The nice thing is that once you set things up, you can address lots of changes quickly. If you do check it out though, just know that the industry is in a horrible spot right now, so I'm not in the business of selling dreams. That gets us to the real decision factor on what to learn, and if it's worth learning Houdini or Blender at all. It's not just 3D graphics, but you're learning a language, and it's a pretty crazy time commitment for either one for a very uncertain future. It really does depend on what you want, and it's probably the best answer you're going to get, and here's why. None of these are mutually exclusive, but do you want to learn skills that can maybe transfer to a job now or later? Are you a hobbyist who just wants to make stuff and show friends on social media? Do you want to make indie animation or games? Do you want to add some data visualization to your pitch deck? Maybe just have something to do in your free time to express yourself creatively. Maybe you're an engineer and you want to visualize your engineering. Blender is probably your best bet if you don't just want to use AI slop, and it's a lower commitment cost-wise and has a ton of tutorials, communities, and endless add-ons for specific things, and allows for rapid prototyping in a destructive or procedural workflow. It is used in film and games, though at a much smaller scale than others right now. It will also most likely be open source forever, and depending on economics, could outlast all paid alternatives, so it could be more future-proof in that aspect, unless it loses funding too. Are you someone who wants to work in the industry in film, streaming, or games on the cutting edge, if and when there's work? Do you like building systems and don't mind seeing results until the end, but with a proven way to iterate almost endlessly once the system is built? Do you want to do heavy data manipulation and visualization with little to no friction after a learning curve? Do you want to make indie animation in games that can then more easily be scaled to larger teams later? Are you a masochist? That's where Houdini may be worth it for you. There's a free version too that you can learn on as well. Or do you want to do the goat thing and not worry about any of this stuff? You might be happier in the long run. That's up to you. And if it is, just write goat in the comments. Houdini does have solid basic setups for handling cloth, fire, smoke, destruction, particle effects, soft bodies, rigid bodies, feathers, hair, small scale and large scale fluids, snow, dirt, mud, ice cream, whipped cream, sand, rubber, and everything in between once you learn how to wield the system. You can easily scale animation and handle gigabytes and terabytes of data easily. It also has a slower and more stable release cycle that doesn't break everything every few weeks with a new release, so there's that too. Blender can do lots of what I just described, mind you. It's just not as mature as Houdini on the procedural end yet. And we'll be catching up for quite a while, as long as Side Effects keeps innovating. Even in light of all the stupid AI slop, regardless of what you see on social media, it has a 20-year head start on proceduralism and is built that way from the ground up, unlike Blender, Maya, Max, or Cinema 4D that add proceduralism on top, for better or worse. It's also more than proven in production for years on large-scale effects shots and sequences that use terabytes of data. So where does that leave you? Again, it's a matter of what you believe the future holds, what goals you have, how much social media you consume, and what you actually want to get out of learning 3D in the first place. Whichever you choose, it's a commitment of time and sweat and a study and patience and constant ego check and a never-ending road of keeping up with the tech and fighting for your place in that world. Doing it professionally is also a matter of luck in addition to skill. Don't let the hustle bros gaslight you on that one. Far too many of them never worked a day in this industry and are really just marketers. Well, speaking of marketing, if you want to learn Houdini, I have this video up, or the longer one for free on my Patreon, or just go to Side Effects and jump in with any teacher or path that resonates with you. I'm just one of many. But get started and see where it takes you. Though please keep in mind, the industry is at a point right now that I hadn't seen in over 2 decades at the time of this video, from film to visualization and advertising. We may be at a crossroad, but it's very difficult to tell. On the entertainment front, theaters still pull for certain films, and Netflix, Warner Brothers, and others are still building capacity and sound stages from Burbank to New Jersey, but YouTube just did this. Yet I truly believe that Hollywood and gaming will bounce back, and we will also have a nice surge in indie films and shows and games, but I have no idea what it's going to look like, and I'm trying not to let that indecision become my indecision, for better or worse. There's no way to really know what the future holds or where any of this is really going, but there is one thing that's certain. You have a mind and the gift of life right now. If you can and are in a position to, why not pursue something you feel is worth it in your own life, whatever that thing is? If AI can come for Houdini and Blender, it can come for anything, including the trades. That said, the application of 3D is pretty vast. It's still an incredibly art-directable way to create animation, assets, and effects work. AI hustle death eaters will tell you that AI can do it all, but prove that you can replace it all with a prompt in a non-cherry-picked series of slow-motion crapshoots that you can iterate on in fine detail until you or a client is happy, that look great and hold up on a huge screen for 2 hours that aren't caught up in lawsuits. I'll wait for now. Until then, I'm still going. The goat can wait for now. See ya.